Just I know you're training coming now, but can maybe Fyfe, I suppose, is the big question. Is he going to get up?
Yeah, well, that's what we're planning for at this stage. Clearly, he's got to get through training, and that's probably the biggest test that he will have is to make sure he gets through training. So he's ticked every other box. Clearly, if he gets through training, he'll play.
Right. I mean, you must be stoked to be able to have it. It's a little bit faster than I suppose you probably thought in the first place. It's a massive bonus coming off a win.
Yeah, it is. It's always good to get your captain back in, especially when it's two-time Brownlow medalist. So, I mean, Medico's done a great job. He's done a great job with his recovery. Clearly, it wasn't a serious injury, so yeah, he's right to go, and we'll welcome him back.
When you push someone at training like you're going to have to, how far do you push them? Do you push them to the absolute max and hope it doesn't go again, or is it just?
Yeah, no, absolutely, because we're going to make sure if he can't get through a full training session, and it won't be a massive training session, but if he doesn't get through a full training session, he won't be able to get through a game. So at this stage, he's been cleared by the medicos. We fully expect him and Cox to both get through training and be right to play on the weekend.
There's talk at the moment of trying to condense the season. If he plays, or if anyone gets injured, therefore they could miss more games than what a normal injury would be. Are you tentative at all about the prospect of bringing him back when that's the future? No,
I'm not, because our medicos have seen this injury a lot before. A lot of players have got back in the same time frame as he has. In my mind, we're not risking him or pushing him quicker than we would with any other player. So if he wasn't 100% fit, I wouldn't play him. So he's 100% fit. He gets through training, he'll play. Yeah.
Well, Griffin Logue, yeah, we give us a bit of an update. Is he being able to have scans on the toe and how long he might miss?
It's still a little bit uncertain, to be honest. It could be as good as him playing soon, and it could be a bit longer term. So we'll work through all the details. We're really guided by how his toe pulls up, and it's that comes down to individuals. Everyone can pull up differently from the same injury. So we just have to take it week by week with Griff at the moment. My fingers are crossed because he's in such good form, and he's clearly an important player for us. So my fingers are crossed that it's sooner rather than later.
And Jesse, is that a new injury, the calf, a totally fresh one for him?
Yeah, he's never had a soft tissue injury, I don't think. He's obviously had other issues with his foot, but yeah, so we'll see how it pulls up. Calves are a little bit better than hammies, so he might be right next week, it might be 2 weeks, so we'll just wait and see with him.
Forward line then, is it a straight swap for, say, McCarthy, who's been ready to go, or do you look at restructuring things?
I think we'll just drop back to what we did the previous few weeks, 4 weeks or 5, the first 4 or 5 games. It's been a long year without playing many games, but the first 4 weeks of the year we played 2 talls. With Sean Darcy out, Lobby went to the ruck and it left us with 2 talls. So we'll continue along that structure. It'll give Sam Sturt more opportunity to play a bit deeper, and it'll allow us to play a smaller forward line again.
So no, unlikely for Cam unless he's playing.
Cam won't play this week. Yeah, he's still working on aspects of his game. And still working his way back from his and still working his way back into full health, I suppose. So, and AFL fitness. So he'll have to bide his time.
Talls, is he still considered being part of your midfield, or are you changing your thoughts when he eventually does come back? What are you planning for him now?
Well, we don't want to undo all the work he's done for us with his work over the pre-season on the wing. So we want to continue to split his time forward and wing, because we want to make sure we provide him with opportunity back into the team, and that could be in either position, but probably more likely as a forward at this stage. So we'll keep playing him in both roles and keep making sure he's ready to go in both roles if an opportunity presents.
Liam Henry tomorrow in scratch match, get a chance to get some actual game time into him.
Yeah, it's great for him. He put in a mountain of work while he was back in Perth. Michael Johnson spent a lot of time with him, guiding him through some of the work he had to do, and came up here in great condition. So it's great. It would be great to see him out there. I mean, he's obviously a highly rated young player on our list, and we need to get footy into him. So he'll play a half tomorrow. It's a great opportunity for him to get back out there and play with his new teammates, because he hasn't had that opportunity yet.
Fred has to be desperate to see him, but realistically, how long will it take for him to get up to speed to play in an AFL game?
It'll take a while. It'll take a while. He's coming from a fair way back with that knee injury. We're just excited to get some minutes into him, and we're going to be hampered a little bit when we go back because we're not allowed to have any reserves games in quarantine. So it's good to be able to get some footy in before we head back to Perth.
What will that look like with the like of numbers you've got? Like, you'll play a half. What's the game? How many minutes is a half now?
You'll probably get about 40 minutes. Yeah, so it'll be a decent hit out. I mean, I think we've got 16 or 17 players, and not sure whether we're getting top ups from the Suns to make it 18 on 18 or not. But they'll get a good hit out, and they've been loving the opportunity to play against real opposition. It's different to bashing and crashing against your own teammates. So they've really enjoyed the opportunity to play.
Like Akers, is he in?
Yeah, he is. He'll play the first game for the club. He's disappointed not to be in last week. It's the sort of competitor he is, but he went out and played really well. He's our best player on the weekend, and not only that, he communicated and he was a bit of a wise head for the younger players. So he ticked all the boxes he needed to last week, and welcome him in for his first game.
Lean on him with the experience and the knowledge he has in St Kilda coming up against them this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. He's provided a few insights into a few of their players and a few of the way they go about it. They've obviously changed a lot over the time since Rat's had a full pre-season under his belt, but he knows a lot of their players well, so he's given us some good insights.
Inside, Bradley Hill knows a lot about your team, and we know he likes to chirp as well. What are you expecting from Bradley?
Not really sure. I don't really know Brad, so I'll expect him to try and have some banter with our players, and hopefully while he's having a bit of banter with his players, he's not running around getting the footy. So he's clearly a talented player, and someone we've got. A lot of our players have got close relationships with and staff, so we'll put some time into him and make sure he doesn't get it all his own way.
In terms of Akers, what sort of role are you going to be hoping for him this weekend, given time out and playing first game?
I think from day one we've tried to settle him down on the wing, tried to make him a one-position player. That's what he wanted, that's what we wanted. So he'll play on the wing for us. We trained him up there. He's played a lot at AFL footy, so we really want to just settle him down and make him a one-position player rather than trying to throw him around in different positions. So he'll play on the wing for us.
So what does that do to Bewley and Aish, given they've been playing?
I can't sit here and tell you the whole team. But I think Bewley's shown the last few weeks he can play forward, and Aish over his time has shown he can play back and wing and on ball. So those players have been really flexible for us, and they provide a lot of run on the outside for us. So they'll be used in multiple positions.
What are you saying to the defenders this week when they're coming up against the bloke who's going to be 7, 8, 9, 10, sometimes 10 centimetres taller than your king?
Do work early. Don't let them have it their own way. And like I've said, I know my previous 4 or 5 press conferences where we've been undersized against an opposition, it takes 18 players on the field to slow an opposition down. It's not just on our backs, so we need to defend really well as a team. And that's something, even though we won last week, we weren't happy with the way we defended Adelaide as a team, so focused heavily on that this week.
One more game to get through this weekend, but prospects of going home is a lot closer now. Are you looking forward to getting back, seeing your family and getting back around?
Yeah, I am. We just got to make sure that we're putting all our energy into St Kilda, and that's been a strong message to our players this week, because there is a lot of distractions with packing up rooms and packing up all our stuff and shipping off straight after the game. So we need to make sure we get the business done first. We really want to leave here with 2 wins, not just 1. So all our focus is going on that. We can worry about the rest when we get to the airport on Saturday night.
The plan is pretty much to play the game and then straight to the airport.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. I think we've got a fair chunk of time before the end of the game and when we take off, but it'll be pretty much pack up and get to the airport and get back home.
Just when you get home, in terms of face-to-face time for players, obviously it's too late to come to recover train, but is there much planning going on in terms of how many sessions you have with the guys per week? Is there a limit or restriction?
It's not a real restriction on that, as long as their only places that they are at the club and at home. So we've got some approved time that we're allowed to be at the club, and we'll stick within those times, but there's plenty of opportunities in that period of time to be able to catch up with all the players and do our meetings and train and that type of thing. So I don't think that will restrict us at all.
Just on a big future grand final wise? There's some suggestion it might be in Sydney at ANZ Stadium. Do you think a grand final belongs in Sydney?
I don't want to get caught up into that, mate. That's a good question, but I'm worried about St Kilda this week, not worried about grand finals just yet.
What about the fixture going forward and condensing games? That will also have a big impact on availability and how you would train afterwards and recovery. How do you see that as needing to be from a coaching perspective?
Well, to be honest, we've always planned in some sense that would be the case this year, because I mean we're tight on time. It's an ever-evolving situation we're in. Clearly, the situation in Melbourne has made it a lot tougher for the AFL to schedule matches. So yeah, we're ready for that, and I think from where our list is at the moment, I think it's a great opportunity if it does go down that path for us to give some of our depth players an opportunity at AFL level, and some of our younger players, especially through the middle of the ground, an opportunity at AFL level. So we'll have to adjust when the time comes and when we get some clarity around that situation, but it's something we're sort of expecting.
Yeah. With injuries, not concerned that it's going to be too much of a toll on your players if you guys go out?
No, not really. Injuries are injuries. We've still got a lot of fit players on our list, and a lot of fit players that are in pretty good form at reserves level. So it'd be a great opportunity for them if they're needed.
We're seeing all the Victorian teams obviously now about to experience what you guys have experienced. What's it like as a coach doing this, living with your players, trying to manage when I'm coach, when I'm human?
It's a balance. It's a balance. You don't want to be in their face all the time talking about footy. So, but on the flip side, it's a great opportunity to get to know them as people outside of footy a lot more. You get to sit and eat dinner with them and have conversations that you probably wouldn't normally have. So, there's a lot of positives with being in hub life. Obviously the missing your family and the toll that takes is not great, but there are some positives, and I feel like as a club we've made the most of the time up here.
As a first-year coach, you would have had all these ideas you want to implement, and you haven't been able to probably do most of them. And what's it been like for you going through all this experience as a first-year AFL coach?
I would take the positives out of it, and positives are we've got to spend more time with the players, got to know them better, spend a condensed time up here, investing in the way we want to play, the way we want to behave. So it's been a great opportunity for us, and like I said, one that I feel like we've made the most of.